Yeah, you did
Oh,
well,
Lord.
All right.
Randolph.
So Crispy
thanks.
just said,
I apologize on behalf of
Crispy.
Christians, Randolph.
Nobody has to.
Meanwhile, at the Legion of Doom.
Idiot. Oh my goodness, I can't.
Oh my God. This is the guy who's the head of Canadian Atheists. I mean, have you ever heard, and you're going to have to excuse me, folks, have you ever heard such a dumb fuck in your whole life?
What happened? What happened, man? What happened?
The guy is such an
Oh
idiot.
my gosh.
Goodness.
This guy is as dumb as a fifth grader. And he claims he's the head of American Atheists. I pointed out to him that his position entails the falsity of God. And he says only implicitly, not explicitly. And I said, it makes no difference. I said, either way, your position entails the falsity of God. Now I said, how is it that God does not exist? And he said, that's not a position I hold to.
What an idiot. Oh my, I can't fathom how much of an idiot.
Listen,
Man, how do you
there's one word, listen. There's one word that describes this guy. He is retarded. Okay?
Well, I guess we can see why he avoided you for 10 months.
You see, this is why it's a waste of time. He admitted.
That's really mean.
He admitted. Shut up.
He's really not.
Okay. Hey, Elliot, what are you drinking? The Kool-Aid? Either Randolph Richardson is profoundly stupid, or he's a completely disingenuous, deceitful person masquerading behind a polite Canadian. Okay? And I accept the latter. What's that?
He's neither.
What?
I said he's neither. I don't think he's either of those things.
Okay,
That's a false dichotomy.
Well, hold on a second. No, there's not a third option. Listen very carefully. Okay? I gave him a true dichotomy. He denied the true dichotomy. Then he had to backpedal and say it was a true dichotomy. Then when I said your position entails the falsity of God, he says not explicitly, and I said it doesn't matter. Your position still entails that God does not exist. Okay? He agreed that his position entails implicitly the falsity of God, but that he's not explicitly saying God does not exist, but he's saying God does not exist implicitly. Okay? Are we clear so far, Elliot?
I think we'll just agree to disagree.
Okay, you know what? You can fuck off, you little piece of garbage. Okay? That's what we call a scumbag troll. Okay? Look, how do you converse and debate with somebody who's deliberately stuck on stupid like Randolph Richardson? I mean, he was appallingly retarded, or if he's not retarded, he's just outright deceitful.
I think he was just in denial. He did not want to admit that he was, utterly a complete
he was being deceitful.
Yeah,
I explained to him, if you say something and by implication it denies God, it doesn't matter that you're not explicitly denying God. You're still denying God. This would hold up this would hold up in a court of law. Okay? And so I said, good. So your position, even though it is implicit rather than explicit, still entails the falsity of God. So I then said to him, after he agreed that his position implicitly entails the falsity of God, I said, how is it that God does not exist? He goes, that's not a position that I hold to. You can't make this up. And by the way, just to let you know, he's actually good friends with Neil the 604 Atheist, and they're building some stupid podcast studio together. Tweedledee and Tweedledum. I'm just frustrated because here I have somebody who puts himself forward. There's no third option. Either he's fundamentally stupid or he's deceitful. But you know what he is? He's deceitful. He couldn't be that dumb. Okay? Now, he categorically admitted, by implication, he is affirming the non-existence of God. Okay? He admitted this. So I then said to him, how is it that God doesn't exist? And he goes, that's not a position that I hold to. Now, how do you converse with somebody like that?
You can't. That's the answer. You cannot.
I mean, the level of deception is shocking. You see, he had to admit that by implication, he was denying God. And then I said, okay, so your position entails the denial of God. He says, yes, implicitly. I said, good. How is it that God doesn't exist? And he goes, that's not a position I hold to.
Well, like I said, man, he avoided you for 10 months for a reason.
And this is, do you realize this guy says he's the head of some organization called Canadian Atheists? I can't even find out how many members there are at his website.
Maybe 4.
I would love to know. Now, do you realize how utterly infuriating it is to talk to a human being like this? You see, when I talk to people, I have a strong expectations that they're going to conduct themselves with a minimal of truthfulness, okay? And I wasn't getting that. What I was getting was full-blown deceit. Oh, that's not a position I hold to. Of course you hold to it by implication. Oh, but it's not explicit.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter, Randolph, that it's explicit. If it's implicit, an explicit or an implicit position, both equals the falsity of God. So your position is that there are temporal facts that don't reference God. Therefore, God cannot exist in that world. So I want to know, how is it that God doesn't exist? Oh, that's not a position I hold to. He repeatedly said this. You can't talk any further with this. He's pretending to be retarded.
Exactly.
Quick question.
And then people wonder why I get ticked off and I get angry with somebody like this. This is a guy who's on YouTube all the time. This is a guy who says, I'm Randolf Richardson, head and founder of Canadian Atheists. And I have teenagers who are more honest than this guy.
Mr. Darth, a quick question. Why did you leave Philosophical check me? I wasn't there while you were in your room.
Because I was pissed I was getting muted because Randolph Richardson was overtly being deceptive and lying right to my face before everybody in the room.
Oh, you guys had like a mini debate?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He was lying right to my face and to everybody in the room. I'll give you a brief synopsis, okay? Yeah. I said to him, do you believe that it is not necessary to reference God as the necessary precondition of all facts? He said, yes. I said, then it necessarily follows from that God cannot exist, okay? I then went on to explain to him the logical entailment with a true dichotomy that God can only exist in a world where facts necessitate referencing him. If there is a single fact that does not necessitate referencing God, then God cannot logically exist in that world. Okay? Yeah. Then I said to him, it's a true dichotomy. And he said, no, it's not. Now, wait till you hear this. He said, there could be a world where some facts reference God and others don't. And I said, no, that world cannot exist. It's a logical contradiction. Okay? He kept on trying to change the subject early on to Christianity. See, this is the tactic. I explained to him, either all facts necessitate referencing God or no facts necessitate referencing God. Why? Because in a God world, God being creator and ultimate and institutor of all possibility, all temporal facts would necessarily derive from God and necessitate referencing God. But if there is one fact that does not necessitate referencing God, then God cannot logically coexist in that world. He finally admitted it. I said, good. So by implication, your position is God does not and cannot exist. And he goes, that's not a position I hold to. He repeated that about 5 times, and my head wanted to explode like John F. Kennedy. How do you deal with such deceitfulness? Is
I have a
anybody getting the
question.
picture here? Is anybody getting the picture here of how pathologically deceptive, okay, and evasive all of these atheists are?